I suck at eating healthy, and it's killing me. Over the past few weeks, I can't even count how many times I've ordered ice cream or McDonald's or pizza. It's becoming a big problem. It's making me lethargic and unmotivated and is really bad for my health. Not to mention I'm spending a ton of money that I cannot afford to be wasting. Something needs to change. But I don't want to just force myself to eat healthy food when I still really want to eat junk food, because eventually your willpower breaks down. Instead, I want to actually rewire my brain so that I want to eat healthy food and think junk food is disgusting. So I decided to embark on an experiment. And with me, that means we went extreme. I went deep, learning the inner workings of the brain, the fundamentals of why we crave food, how people change their beliefs. I even looked into cults. I'm a big fan of taking something to the extreme to see what we can learn from it, but then bringing it back to a more general level that's applicable to people who aren't as crazy as me. And I don't want it to take forever, so I want to see if I can create a massive lasting change in the way I view food in just 7 days. To kick it off, the first requirement is that I have to watch at least one food or health-related documentary every day. This serves 2 purposes. The first is that it helps educate me on what junk food is doing to my mind and body, because if I'm not aware of that, then there's really no point of even doing this. And the second is that it helps provide some inspiration to me, because I'll be hearing all these stories of people whose lives have been ruined by eating unhealthy. So what I'm doing here is one of the most common methods of habit change, which is clearly outlining the positive and negative. This means writing for 30 minutes about what will happen to me and the people I love if I continue to eat junk food, and then what will happen if I stop eating junk and start eating healthier. So I just finished the documentary Forks Over Knives. Overall, it was pretty eye-opening. A lot of interesting data and studies that I'd never heard about before. I'd say for me, main takeaways were vegetables are really good for you and you need to be eating more of them, and stay away from processed foods and just focus on whole foods. The next piece of the puzzle is more education. So every day I have to spend at least 45 minutes learning about health and nutrition, either through articles or podcasts. I've already got a couple good health podcasts that I listen to, but I'm gonna find some more and I'll share the best of them with you guys at the end. The other thing I'm doing is planning out healthy meals that I can make or buy. Now for me, this looks a little bit different because I'm in Thailand right now, where most people eat out instead of cooking. I don't even have a kitchen in my apartment at all. So for me, it's finding restaurants and meals where I can go and get healthy food. But for most people, this will mean buying healthy ingredients and learning to cook healthier meals that are tasty to you. So one of the health podcasts I've been listening to a bunch is called Huberman Lab with Andrew Huberman, who's a professor at Stanford. And here's this great clip.
But it's also true that if we continue to eat foods that are progressively sweeter and sweeter and highly palatable, it shifts our dopamine system, because it activates our dopamine system to make us believe that those foods are the only foods that can trigger this reward system and make us feel good and that they taste good. But after consuming foods that perhaps are less sweet or even less savory, that are not what we would call highly, or I would say nowadays it's super palatable foods, we can adjust our sense, literally, of what we perceive as an attractive and rewarding food. And indeed, the dopamine system will reward those foods accordingly.
So basically what he's saying is that the more we eat healthy food and the more we do it consistently, our brains actually change to prefer that healthy food. Today we're getting weird. If you ever took a psychology class in high school, you've probably heard the term classical conditioning. Basically, it's the idea of linking a stimuli with a certain response. So for example, if you hear this sound, you have a conditioned response of thinking, I have a new message, and you'll check your phone for that message. If you hear this sound and there's no message on your phone, you'll be upset because you've been classically conditioned to expect there to be a message when you hear that. So I'm wondering if I can override my brain's default response to sugary foods with some classical conditioning of my own. Here's how. First, I'll look at really delicious pictures of junk food, and I'll quickly switch over to an unappealing picture to try and rewire my brain so that it associates the first picture with the disgusted response in my mind from the second picture. I don't know if you guys can see it. Look how disgusting this pizza is. That's nasty. Oh my gosh. Okay, after doing that, I don't know how long this will last, but I will say right now I'm actually disgusted at the thought of any type of junk food. It was a visceral response of that is disgusting. Hey guys. This is gonna be one of the toughest things I've done all week. I am going with some friends to a fancy bakery. I'll probably eat something there because I'm thinking of this as more of an experience. I feel okay about it, but Honestly, the thing I'm wondering is like how I'm gonna react, because I right now I have no desire to eat sugary food. Like I don't want a piece of cake, I don't want a donut, I'm actually kind of grossed out by that stuff. But I suppose when I see it, I think I'll probably like it, but I genuinely don't know. So I just got back from being out with my friends, and I did have a piece of cake. It was good, but it wasn't like a drug addict who gets one hit and then is addicted again. It was good, but I didn't need more. So I just finished the documentary, The Magic Pill. It was basically about both the paleo diet and the ketogenic diet and the effects that those can have, and some of the results that they found were incredible, like literally blew me away. There are people completely getting off all of their insulin and other medications. There was 2 kids with autism who saw significant improvements after following a ketogenic diet. The one story they told of someone who had cancer and saw the cancer shrink and then go away completely after following a ketogenic diet, which that's not the only time I've heard of that too. People are really looking into the ketogenic diet seriously for dealing with cancer, but it was really powerful. It was a very good documentary. I would highly recommend it. Today we're getting into cults. Why? Why not? No, really, it's because cults do an amazing job of belief change. Even though to outsiders most cults seem insane, to the people inside of them, they believe so strongly in what they're doing that they're able to resist all rational thought in order to remain part of the cult. Imagine if we could harness some of that power and apply it to our beliefs about healthy eating. So I watched a ton of videos and read a bunch of articles about cults to find out what cults do well and see if there's anything that we could apply. I found 3 main things. One key feature of all successful cults is that its members tend to overestimate the importance of the cult. They have to feel like the cult has all the answers. If we're going to apply that to healthy eating, it means to slightly overestimate the importance of healthy eating. And while this sounds a little bit wrong, in truth, most people are really underestimating the importance of healthy eating. Eating good, healthy, unprocessed foods can save you hundreds of thousands of dollars in healthcare costs, keep you alive to see your grandkids grow up, give you energy to achieve your goals, help you marry the perfect person, and could literally save your life. So if you overestimate its importance, in truth, you'll probably just end up hitting it spot on the mark. Or am I just saying that to get you to overestimate it? The second is that people who have gone through emotional trauma are more susceptible to join cults. And no, I'm not recommending emotional trauma as a way to eat healthier. The reason that's the case is because these people tend to feel more lost, and they're looking for direction. They're looking for a change to help them feel better. So the takeaway for us is that you have to be motivated to make a change. If you give mediocre efforts, you're gonna get mediocre results. Instead, you need to want to go all in. Part of why I'm watching these documentaries every day is because they help motivate me to change. Seeing all these stories of people who have turned their lives around through healthy eating is really inspiring. 3 is you have to feel like part of the group. Often this is done through rituals. Cults rely on groupthink and social pressure to keep people from questioning them. Obviously, we don't want to turn off our rational thinking, but the takeaway here is to engage in a ritual or join a group that helps you feel like you're part of something bigger. I'll give a few specific examples. So one would be that many diets allow for a cheat day, and there are thousands of people around the world who post on the internet, including The Rock as a famous example, their cheat meals for the week. You can take part in that. Or you can join a Facebook group where people share their progress on their diet, or maybe healthy recipes, or get your friends involved so you have a group of people who are all committed to the same goal. So over there is the place where I used to get my banana Oreo shakes, and today I'm just walking right past. Not even tempted. Oh, that smells amazing. What is in that? So I got some dinner. This is riceberry, which is a type of rice native to Thailand. It's a lot healthier than like a white rice. We're 6 days in. Honestly, I feel great. Right now, I have no desire to eat unhealthy food at all. Nothing that interesting really happened today. I watched a documentary on alcohol, which was okay, but let's wrap this puppy up. So you're probably wondering, did this actually work? Well, I deliberately waited after doing that week to see if these results would stick around. So it's now been a little over 2 months since I lived out that week. And I have to say, I've been eating way healthier. I have not ordered ice cream a single time since then. It's not perfect. I've ordered pizza a few times, but even in the past month, I don't think I've eaten that at all. Just the idea of all that unhealthy food is pretty disgusting to me now. There were two things that helped me the most. So the first was focusing on how eating junk food made me feel. And once you do that enough, you develop a good awareness of how certain foods will make you feel. And so now I know that if I eat a bunch of ice cream, I'm just gonna feel like garbage afterwards. And I don't wanna feel like garbage, so I don't eat the ice cream. The second one is over-exaggerating how disgusting junk food is. So when I think of the McDonald's ice cream, I think of all the chemicals they're putting into that, all the high fructose corn syrup. There's so much stuff that's like, it's not really ice cream. Sure, maybe there's some dairy in there, but they're putting all this random stuff in there that you don't know what it is, just to make it cheap and make it taste good in the moment. And now I think about that and I'm like, that's nasty. So I don't want to eat it anymore. So overall, I'm very happy with the results of this experiment. I'll see you next time.